2 Timothy 3, verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. Right? First and foremost, call Allah Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom. To you, hopefully, like men that scattered abroad, pushing the truth without sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And also shalom to very, very few sincere sisters, right, that's taking heed and getting in order in these last days. Right, I'm the brother Amawan coming at you with a video, low one is edifying and to the point. Right, so as the brothers, we've been going over, apostles. I know myself was linebacking out to the one of the brothers in Saints of Jersey. How he did a video to one of the Jakes that had a very heavy dream, which a lot of Cam don't even agree with. But he had a heavy dream of pretty much Jacob's trouble and 7 women clinging to one man. But as the brothers of heirs of indignation, right, most definitely like, subscribe, and be edified. Watch, subscribe, be edified to the brother channel, right? Definitely watching his video that he bring out, you will definitely find scriptures to put with the video, right? So his title of it says, "The gravy train is over for Eve in Babylon," right? And the rest of you women as snaps getting cut, right? And it's funny because it says gravy train is over for Eve in Babylon, right? It's confusion, right? And hey, man, it's the end of the night, lights cutting on, it's time to get the fuck on, ain't no more playing around no more, but and another thing is, right, Babylon, right, America's confusion, right, like the Apostle Gabar is going into, America is bitter, right? Babylon's confusion, right? So now, and think about it, Eve has been so confused with who she served, right? Well, now I take that back, I take that back. You know what I'm saying? They letting it be known who they rather serve, But thing about it, they got so drunk that they are serving the wrong person, right? They're serving Esau Edom, and they're getting so drunk off his wine. Right, but now we come to a time period where you about to understand the words that we've been telling you for the longest. This man's your fucking enemy, right? But that's how smooth he come in with it, though. He come in as if like, nah, man, we buddy. You know what I'm saying? The whole time he had a hidden agenda, right? And we bring out those scriptures all the time. The videos are there for it, But it says, gravy train is over for Eve and Babylon. The rest of you women as snaps getting cut, right? And honestly, we know that the women are the weaker vessel, right, according to the scriptures, right? And honestly, he just pretty much putting Eve in position to take the MOTB, man. Because the back is finna go against the wall, right? Your backs are finna go against the wall, man. And we already know what them snaps being cut is gonna make women in a tight spot, and not just them. It's gonna be everybody. But how much more the weaker vessel in that time, man. Right? So I'm going to play some of this video. Lord, I'm able to get through this whole thing before I go into the plantation.
To be crystal clear, what this bill did was create the potential for SNAP programs to no longer exist in any shape, form, or fashion in terms of providing SNAP benefits in states that could not afford to or chose not to, for whatever reason, meet the cost sharing. Is there?
Hey, matter of fact, Shalaki, man, because it's been heavy on my spirit to go ahead and, right? Because in the spirit, right, Eve had been an enemy to us, man, right? And us servants to prophets, right, we are now seeing the downfall of it, man, right? We are seeing the downfall of it, right? We've been telling you, hey, yeah, we better repent. Because the Lord will snatch you off your high horse real soon, right? We're watching Esau Edom the same way, right? A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. We're seeing Esau lose it, man, right? He's coming down, and so are you women, man, right? The one that he had deceived you, gave you all these benefits, right, to help you be above the man, right? What you just fulfilling prophecy, a woman shall compass a man, But now we in the time period of Esau's pulling that rug from underneath you, man. You know, that's that Dave Chappelle little clip. We like, gotcha, bitch. You know, and that's exactly what he doing. Right, he pulling that rug from beneath you. Right, he got you far as hell from the man to the point now the man don't even want to deal with your ass. And now he about to have y'all to the point where y'all gonna have to run back to the men. You know, but let me bring this out right quick. It's Ecclesiastes 25 verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Right, we know who our main enemy is. Right, really all these other heathen nations. Right, mainly Esau Edom. That top dog is Esau Edom. Right, but hey, as we've been going through our affliction, our hell, right, you fucking women have been our enemy as well, man. You know, y'all help further the affliction. You know, and we're not just talking. You can just go on social media for the receipts, man. You know, so we loving it, man. We love to see the fall of our enemies, man. Right? What it says in the book of Micah 7:10, she that is my enemy shall see it. Y'all gonna know. Right? Because the Lord finna put y'all through straight hell, right? But he finna chip away at y'all with these SNAP benefits. Let me go right back.
Is that a fair assessment of that, Ms. Green?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Bivens?
Yes, it is.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes, sir.
I almost just want to sit in silence to let that sink in. The United States of America just signed into law a bill that will allow states, essentially, to determine whether or not they will provide food assistance to anyone, to federally funded food assistance to anyone.
How much?
Right, and he says for anyone, but who's the one that's really running to that? You know, because man, we out here trying to get it. You know, whether it's multiple jobs. You know, get me wrong. You know how you have some men that's on those assistants, but it wasn't designed for males. It was designed for females, man. You know, excuse me. You know, when you think about it, go back to the garden, to the beginning, man. You know, Eve being deceived. You know, giving you all these things to be on a higher platform, so called, right? Be above the man. You know, but now fast forward, right? The Lord is breaking you down. You know, now y'all have to go through all these requirements in order to receive that, right? And you're gonna have a lot of these women still do that, try to meet all the requirements for these benefits, you know. And excuse me. It also brings in Isaiah 4:1. You know, Isaiah 4:1 is gonna be a real heavy prophecy. You know, because you know, like we always say, man, you women, you think about just having sex, right? You're gonna understand, like, fuck that, this man, and he, you know, I can't get no benefits, I can't eat, you know, but this man over here, he eating, he look healthy, beard just shining. He got goddamn 4 women walking around with him, flying around. However the Lord have it set up, you know. Hey, women gonna want to flock to that, man. Especially when all hell break loose, women gonna want to flock to that. They're gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, I can't live in the system no more. It's too much, you know. So yeah, Isaiah 4 is more than just sex, man. It's about salvation for you women. Well, for us all, you know, but for you women, it's you want to get salvation through that. Excuse me. Salakia.
Now, $469. 59-year-old Sharon Perez says even with SNAP, it's hard to keep up with her bills. As a full-time caregiver for her mother, she worries these changes could put her benefits at risk.
It helps a great deal, but it's not enough still.
For locals like Perez, when the waiver expires in 2026, many more Nevadans will need to work to keep their benefits or risk losing them. So what's changing? Here's a breakdown.
And that's how women been getting around for a while. That's why they be considered. That's why you think they be so-called up. You know, because they getting all these goddamn hundreds all SNAP. Right? But now we finna see how much motion y'all really got when this man take away them SNAP benefits, man.
SNAP work requirements, which used to stop at the age of 54, will now increase to 64. Parents will only get an exemption if their children are under 14. And automatic exceptions for veterans, the homeless, and former foster youth are being eliminated. State data shows nearly 133,000 Nevadans could be affected. In New York City.
And I just want to add to that, you know, and all I can see is all hell breaking loose with that. They say no exception. They don't care if you're homeless or not. Right? Man, he tough finna show them horns, man. He coming to those decrees.
The SNAP and EBT reductions and work requirements are officially started on September 1st, 2025. Okay, as a part of the federal One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Here's what this means for New York City residents. The start date was September 1st, 2025. New federal SNAP rules went into effect nationwide, including New York. November 1st, 2025, additional restrictions will kick in, expanding work requirements to more groups. Starting now, to keep or qualify for your SNAP, many adults must work, volunteer, or attend a training at least 20 hours a week, equaling out to 80 hours a month. Report that they are meeting these requirements to HRA or the OTDA. These rules apply to adults up to 54 years old without dependents, under 18, parents with children over 14, people who are not disabled, not pregnant, and not caretakers. Starting November 1st, the rules will expand to adults ages 18 to 64, veterans, homeless individuals, and foster youth ages 18 to 24 will no longer be exempt. Benefit reductions, guys, is insane. New York City households are already seeing monthly SNAP reductions ranging from $72.
That's when to stop right there, because I just see it parallel like this, right? Because that word requirements is real heavy, you know, because when you go to the book of Revelation chapter 13, matter of fact, I'm going to show it to you as well. When you go to the book of Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 in the NLT, you know, let me say this right quick, and I'm going to bring up my point. This Revelation 13, what the hell going on? 13, verse 16, it reads, he required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, right? Which is that RFID hip, which was either the name of the beast or the number of representing his name, right? So my point was that we're required in Revelation 13 and 16, which would be that digital device. And also right here, you know, talking about requirements, right? So you have to go through a certain process in order to get the things on the other side, so as far as like the benefits, you know, and these things are parallel. That's how we know the ones that's going to be so die hard to go through all these requirements, going through the 80 hours a month, you know, just trying to get these things, they're going to be the same ones that receive that, to take that C-hip, man, right? And there's going to be a lot of women, right? There's going to be a lot of women that's going to fall to this, you know. Excuse me.
$231. Over 281,000 adults in New York City are expected to lose their eligibility. Another 413,000 are at risk. 363,000 children could lose benefits in their households if the adults lose their eligibility. Okay, so what are you going to do? Update your contact info with HRA and USPS. Watch for mail from HRA about work requirements or exemptions. They changed the Pathways to Home to a new name, NASA, something like that. You'll get a letter in the mail. If you are disabled or pregnant or a caretaker, submit exemption documentation right away. If you are working, report your hours to avoid losing benefits. States already are feeling the impact. Illinois, okay, waivers are expiring. Thousands may lose benefits by early 2026. Pennsylvania, new work will start September 1st. More changes coming November 1st. Ohio, food banks report millions of pounds of less food due to federal and state cuts. Hawaii facing $700 million in SNAP losses. Non-for-profits non-for-profits are stepping in to help. California, Texas, Florida, and New York each has hundreds of thousands of risk of losing benefits. Please, guys, make sure that you take all of your updated info, your mail, attend community meetings if possible, and also utilize food pantries because this is going to be devastating.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that right there. So yeah, with that being said, and we can see things getting getting spiked out of, going crazy behind after that, Salakia. Because when these folks can't, let's say these folks trying to go through the course and they can't receive those benefits, man, they're gonna be in the state of do as thou will, right? They're gonna be able to, I think how it goes in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, take matters inside their own hands, roughly paraphrasing. Yep, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, right? That's going to be real heavy. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? So that means people start taking matters out of their own hands because they can't get these benefits, in this aspect right here, right? This right here going to lead to what it says in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Let's get that too. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouse shall suddenly be found empty. Because when this time is coming, right? And like I said, he's putting these back against the wall, right? And that's why I say we gotta be circumspect. You gotta be discerning the times and just paying attention, keeping your head on the swivel, right? Because all this right here going to spiral to shit hitting the fan. Because once I seen a Keisha, right? So-called black woman, big polar bear ass bitch, right? She literally was in the store and she had both her kids with her. And she literally had both her kids helping her steal. Like, they got, I think it was 2 buggies full of shit. And lady was recording her, telling her, like, man, lady, you can't be doing that. You got to put this back. And lady had her file on her, like, and she was like, baby, don't make me do it to you up in here. Like, my kids gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? She needs some shit. I think it was food. I think it was food if I'm mistaken. But she was willing to what? Literally go inside a public place and go take some shit without paying for it because she didn't have the money for it. And yeah, I think it was food. And she was saying, hey, my baby's got it. My baby's gonna eat. They gonna have something to eat, some shit like that. But that just one person, right? Just imagine the rest of these women that's on that same type of tip and across the world, across America, man. Right? They're going to be in that same type of spirit, right? And, you got a couple of minutes going to be in the mix because once they see shit going like that, niggas going to partake into it too, And, yeah, you got to add that into what? Inflation, that's finna increase the hyperinflation. So all these things going to be in the mix, man. But the main center point is around these women, right? Because those are the ones benefiting off this system the most, right? So like the brother had brought out, on his title, right? The great return is finna end, man. Right, so let me go ahead and grab these scriptures right quick in the book of Isaiah 32. And we'll go ahead and close on that. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 9. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease, right? Because, hey, you're in the midst of confusion, right? And you just sitting in it, and engulfing all of it, man. Now, can't even see nor hear, But, hey, we out here week in, week out, right? The videos are up there, to warn you. Because it says, hear my voice, right? And we are the Lord's voice box, right? Going back to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 1, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I'll put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, right? It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Right, we telling you this man is finna come down with great wrath. Right, Revelation 12, verse 12. Right, he's finna cut you off. He's finna show you that he never gave a fuck about you. Right, the scriptures talk about in the book of Ezekiel 35 and 5, the perpetual hatred, or it's everlasting. Right, this man he get turned on by detaching you from your kind, doing you dirty, and then give your ass back. He have fun with that. Right? It says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the venture shall fail, the gathering shall not come. And we're seeing that breach being ready to fall, man. We're seeing the society is being ready to crumble, right? And when society crumbles, you women going to crumble the most, right? You women going to fall the most with it because that was your help, this society, man, right? All these 15-minute cities, that's centered around women, you know, right? But it says, many days and years shall you be troubled, right? Because, hey, that SNAP benefit is going to have a lot of these women in the crash out spirit, right? That's when women going to really be trying to humble down and listen to what a man got to say, you know? Because right now, you really can't tell these black bitches nothing. Well, hell, I don't even tell them nothing. Hey, they watch the video, that's about it. You know, hey, you know, let them just do what they do. You know, a hard head make a soft ass. Right? It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the venture shall fail. The gathering shall not come. Right? It ain't no bounce back. You know, this ain't no little trial run where they're going to be like, you know what, you know, the SNAP benefit will be a cut, and then, you know, after a while we can give y'all some back pay, and, you know what I'm saying, some good ass miracle, whatever, some soft lies, really, right? It ain't no bounce back from this, man, right? This shit finna get harder and harder, right? The walls is finna get it's finna keep getting smaller and smaller, man. Right? It says, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins, right? Because the Lord is beautiful when it comes to balance, man. Right? You know, he let y'all women get way up there, you know, on this pedestal, and now he finna bring y'all all the way back down. You know? Excuse me. Because right now you're supposed to be in the time of mourning. You know, getting right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know? But yet, since Esau started providing these benefits, excuse me, y'all are down for it. Y'all not really trying to get in order. Y'all not trying to return back to the Lord. You know? Excuse me. That's why, you know, brothers, myself, apostles already said, hey, a lot of women are going to be rejected in the time of Jacob's trouble. You know, because once they figure out that they can't get these benefits, shit then hit the fan. Right? Now you're gonna look at the men of the Lord as a last resort. Right? When really it was the first resort. It was the first option. You know? Right? But, you know, hey, in that time to come, man, Jake just trim. Right? But it's like I lost my train of thought. Right? But yeah. You know, you treated the men of the Lord like a not as a first option, no, not as a priority. But now to come, right? Now you're gonna want to try to treat the men of the Lord as a priority. Right? But like I said, a lot of women get rejected just because of that, man. It was too late. Shit didn't hit the fan. The ark is closed, man. You know? Matter of fact, let me get this last scripture and I'm gonna close out. I'm finna go ahead and walk in. Micah 7 verse 10. It says, then she that is my enemy shall see it. Right? Then she that is my enemy shall see it, because, hey, pride go before destruction, the heart of spirit before a fall. Right? And also, you know, we speak about give them warning from me. You know? We're telling you that, hey, this man is going to pull a slick ass move. Right? And we talk about in the book of Genesis chapter 3, he's more subtle than any creature of the field, man. He's slick like that. You know? He don't care for you. But he know how to take down a nation through you. Right? But it says, then she that is my enemy shall see, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where's the Lord thy power? Right? And hey, that's going to be the time where women going to be trying to, you know, link up with a man of the Lord. But hey, the Lord finna put belt to ass on these women, man. He finna have these women going through so much shit. Right? And if you do maybe in the same area as an elect man, hey, that man is going to look at you like, shit, hey, he ain't my business. You know? Right? Because he said, what? My eyes shall behold her. Right? He's going to look. We going to look. The Lord going to look. He going to laugh. We going to laugh. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. right? And that's why, hey, when these articles like this come out, or these videos come out like this, I be smiling, man, because it's, hey, you know, because we've been laughed at for so long, you know, us men and women, we've been laughed at for so long, but now the Lord has it to where, hey, we finna have the last laugh, right? The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, you know, he shall laugh, he shall mock when your fear cometh, right? As a whirlwind. I think I just said 2 different scriptures. I think that's Isaiah 45 and 7. But yeah, he shall mock and laugh at your calamity when your fear cometh. You know, we gonna have that last laugh, man, and that's the best laugh. You know, but it says now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets, right? So you wouldn't finna go through straight hell, man. You finna get trampled all over. Niggas not finna give a fuck about you, right? You may have a couple of food inside your house in that day. Niggas finna come and take that shit. And I'm saying niggas as in heathens too, goddamn. You know, because you ain't gonna be able to goddamn hold it down compared to an average male, especially in that wartime, like that survival mode, you know. So I'm gonna close out with that. I don't feel like I'm rambling. Right, I'm gonna close out, and Lord willing, you know, this lesson was edifying. I want to give out honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, by Shem Kragadash. And again, the title of the lesson, well, I'll just do a response. The gravy train is over for Eve in Babylon. The rest of you women as snaps getting cut. Shalom.